Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Outlanders. We are here in episode 7 and we have made quite a bit of progress with our base. I actually need to remember to put a lighter on if I want to fly. There we go. So, as we can see, I have finished flattening this area. I've put in a outline, I suppose, of quartz and deep slate and cobbled deep slate to put a little bit of an area of where I want to go. So it took a little bit of effort trying to figure this out and a little bit of adjustment of the border just up and down, not side to side, as well as flattening this area here. So I reckon that's doing pretty well. So we're going to leave this for a little while because I'm not still 100% sure of what I want to do with this area, but it'll come to me eventually. I'm still thinking I'm going to have some towers on each of the sides, which will angle upwards and hold something. But we'll figure that out in a future episode. For now, I've got a couple of things I'd like to do today. Now, last season I did try and collect all of the heads, or as many heads as possible, and I did get quite a way to collecting most, but not all of the sheep heads. As you can see here, I've collected a fair number of the sheep heads. We've got 2 orange, a yellow, some light blue, some blue, some magenta, purple, white, black, and a jeb. So we've got a fair collection of them all. However, the annoying thing is we keep getting duplicate heads. So you can see 3 magentas, 2 blues, 2 light blues, and 2 oranges. So we need to set up something where we can trade away heads. So what I'm thinking is somewhere around here, possibly on this little island here, we'll set up a head trading hall. So something where people can dump in heads that they want or don't want, and others can take in heads. So you dump in a head, you take a head out. That's basically how it's going to work, I reckon. Now there's another thing I do want to get started on as well, and that is a first shop as well, a redstone shop specifically. Now that worked reasonably well last season, so we're going to try our hand at it again, but this time with a different design. So I'm going to, I think, stake out a little bit of an area in the island and then show you how it's going to get started. Now the plan I've got for here is just a very, very, very simple one now that I think about it. I just need to put in a couple of stalls like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like this, just to go like that. And then I'm going to put some barrels on top of that, so like so. And just cap it off with another piece of these jungle stairs. Then on the side, I think I'm just going to stick some jungle trapdoors. Now the reason why I'm doing it like this is because in this manner I can now put in the item frames at the bottom, which would then indicate what each chest has. So that's going to be a rather simple thing. I think actually I'll get rid of this one and have a slightly different design, but it's basically going to be something like that. So I'm just going to quickly build that and then start stocking it up with all the things that I'm going to sell. Okay, so I've got myself a reasonably looking building at the moment. It's just got 18, I think, different slots, 6 on each wall, so which should hopefully be able to cope with everything that I've got. So I'm actually struggling to think of all the redstone components. We've got the 3 ones I've got redstone in them. We've got the repeater, the torch, and the comparator. We've now got a dispenser, which I don't actually have many of, and a dropper. Let me just dump the droppers on there actually. So I still need pistons, I think, and quite a few other things now that I think about it. Maybe levers and buttons and other things. But I'm generally going to be going for things that take a lot of space or take a lot of material. So these things especially, and then these 2, the pistons. I don't have enough for sticky pistons, but that will come eventually. Now I do need to smelt a lot of iron and a lot of other things. So still quite a bit of ways to go before the shop is ready and up to go. I'm still making my way back and forth between the 2 places, my base over here and the shop over here, but I've got myself quite a bit of other things. As we've got more, obviously, observers now, we've got ourselves some pistons now. Probably going to try and make some sticky pistons because I think I've got enough to make some. I may have to withdraw it from service later, and I'm smelting up a huge amount of iron to make hoppers, so that may be the only things I sell for the time being, just these things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items, because those are 8 items should be enough. The things like levers and what else is there? Oh man, my mind's going blank at the moment. Levers and buttons and things like that. Things that people don't generally need in huge quantities. I'm not going to sell because those last season did not sell well at all. If I remember, I didn't sell anything from them. So that should be a good thing in the time being. So we've got another 8 in there, which is not going to be enough for a while. So I might need to AFK here for a while to get myself a lot of iron. I've just put in quite a bit to let it smelt. That should go quite nicely. But what else is there? What other redstone things are there? So we've got signs, we've got dispensers, we've got hoppers. If I put redstone into here, redstone lamps. It's not something that people usually buy much either, is it? So not going to have enough slime to put in 64, but I should have enough for 48, which is a little bit annoying because I want 49, so I can have the 49th one on the sign itself, which is a little bit annoying. I'm going to have to go hunting for that as well. Overall, the shop is going very, very well indeed. Let's keep getting stuff ready for it. And some 20 minutes later, there we go. We've got hoppers. We've got, what's that? That's 64 plus 16, which is 70, 80 of them, I think, something like that. So that is quite a bit. We've got some pistons, we've got some sticky pistons, we've got quite a bit of everything. Now, I've put them into the stacks they need to be bought in, so 16 there, 16 there, mostly stacks of 16, and people just need to put in a diamond where they left the stuff, which is going to be a little bit easier than having a payment chest. So I have left quite a bit more room just in case I want to sell other things as well. So I didn't have to build a entirely new shop if I want to put in new items. So I might put in fact, wool, because wool does seem to be something that people want to buy, and I also have a lot of that. So let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks there, and then I can produce a little bit more with the sheep I have over here. Where is it? Get that, and then over here with the shears, take that out, and that should be good. So I'm going to put the wool in, probably in stacks of 64, because that will, or maybe 63, because that is enough. Stacks of 64 or something, and then move on to the next bit. So after a little bit of time, we've got ourselves the head swap area. Now, I know this is very, very similar to my, the redstone area, which is all just jungle and red. So at some point, I'll probably change this to something that's a little bit more black and white, like me. But we just have ourselves the one segment, kind of like the ATM from last season, in which we've got a chest and all my heads that I want to swap. Over here, we've got the instruction sheet, so we just have put in a head, take one away. My heads are going to be at the top of the top line, and the heads that you put in are going to be at the bottom. So people are free to construct their own ones if they want. And of course, over on the right, I've got the heads that I want. I currently just want sheep heads, because that's something I would like to get a whole collection of, all 17 different colors. So what I do need to do is, which is something I didn't do earlier, is collect up the sheep heads or the duplicate heads that I do have, and put in the ones that I don't want anymore. So that means all the duplicate heads that I have of the sheep and the cod and everything else that people might want, and then probably think of a few more heads that I might like in the future. And while we're at it, let's slaughter this sheep to see if we get any heads. We've got all of those. Let's just stick them over there so it will go into the first slot, and bam, bam. Of course, nothing. That's a bit disappointing, but not entirely unexpected. Alright, so we've got those 4 heads over there, which is frankly not a lot of heads, if we're honest. We do have, let's see, really wish I could run faster than this, but never mind that. We do have, let's see, a couple of cod heads. We've got plenty of horse heads, which we don't really need. What else do we have that people might want? We've got donkey heads. We've got a few wandering trader heads, or a few wandering trader llama heads. What else? We've got villager heads. Let's not really do that. We've got a couple of chicken heads, actually, which might be good. Wandering trader heads, which are very common. And what else? Probably not much else that we can sell or give away, at least, anyway. So let's head back over, in round heads. Let's head back over to the head swap and put those in, and hopefully people will come and see them later and see what we can get. Right, after that little sojourn over to build a little shop and a head swapping area, I think it's time to turn to a little bit of community effort, and this time we're going to be doing some iron farms. Now, a couple episodes ago I marked out the area we're going to do our 2 iron farms, one here and one over there. Probably shouldn't left click, probably shouldn't right click, otherwise I'll use rockets. But we will at least get the outline of these. I'm not going to be able to put the villages or everything else in, but at least I'll be able to get the structure for this. Now, the structure is reasonably simple, although it is going to require a bit of work. So I'm probably going to get Magpie Cam in to do a very short time lapse and get all of this going. So I'm going to get that set up and enjoy the time lapse. And there we go, I've got the bottom levels of both iron farms in, and I just fell into it, which is not very good of me. But yes, I've got both levels, or at least the bottom levels done, so I do need to get the villages in. It's going to have, of course, the villages in the middle square, which I probably should actually light up with some glowstone. Then the villages will be surrounded like that, and there will be some torches around that. The water will flow in. Then I'll start, once I've got the 20 villages in here, I think it's, what is it, 20 divided by 3, I think it's 10, 10 and 5, I think, I forget exactly how it's supposed to go. No, that's right, it's 8, 8 and 4, which is 16 plus 4, which is 20, so that works out quite well. So 20 villages in here, 20 villages in there, and once I got the villages all in, I'm going to finish off the top layer and all that. I'm probably going to do most of the villages off camera in between episodes, as this is the episode, this is the day that I get back from a camp, or holiday I should say, so some time between episode 7 and episode 8, there's going to be about 2 weeks or so when I'm not actually recording. So hopefully I'm going to have most of that done, and it's going to work very well. You can still see Magpie Cam up in the sky as I finish up recording. So to finish off today's episode, I was going to go end busting, but I've lost all my gear, and that happened because I went into a place where Chow was re-rolling villagers, converting to zombie villagers and everything, and unfortunately a zombie killed me, got my armor, and then was converted back into a normal villager I should say. So unfortunately I've lost all my gear, but Chow has very thankfully offered to replace it, so I'm in a bit of a holding pattern, just waiting for him to replace the gear. So hopefully when I come back in the next clip, I should have all my gear, and we should be able to go end busting, which probably won't be on camera, most of it, or I may show a couple of highlights here and there, but also the end result. So I'll see you in a couple of seconds, I guess, when we get the stuff. Well, it took a couple of days, but Char has come up with the goods. I've got my netherite armor all back, although I do only have thorns 2 on the boots. That's fine, because we didn't have a thorns villager, I think, or a thorns 3 villager, but thankfully I had a couple of thorns books stored up, so I was able to re-enchant my gear. And I've also got myself a shield for the very annoying shulker thing. So I think I will go into the end and do quite a little bit of end busting, which I'll probably do mostly off camera in between this episode and the next. I've also got myself a netherite sword, which unfortunately does have knockback, which is not something I'm particularly fond of on swords, but never mind that, it should be fine, hopefully. Because the main reason why I don't like knockback is trying to get the creepers, or the skeletons especially. The skeletons start attacking you and then you knock them back and then they can attack you again. It's just a little bit annoying, but oh well. It shouldn't be affect me too much. So I'm going to need a lot of arrows, some food, some, what do we call it, some rockets, and of course some shulker boxes if I've got them. So all the stuff to make them anyway. So that means I am going to need at least one crafting table out there. So one crafting table, here we go. We also need some chests, which I'm pretty sure I've got some spare ones in here somewhere. And we also need the rockets, which I've got in that chest there, I think. Chest, rockets, and we don't need other things. We don't need a pickaxe or shovel or axes or anything like that. So I am going to say, I think that's it for today. So thank you very much for watching. I am going to be still on camp, or I'm going to be returning from camp when this episode airs or releases. So hopefully you have enjoyed the episode, and I may or may not do a stream shortly after this episode releases to just catch you up on everything that's going on in the server. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to see you in the next one, hopefully with a whole stack of shulker boxes. See you then. Bye!